Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, people. We're back. It's the Armoury TV. It's your boy Gumsa. Hey, my lighting's really bad today, guys. I apologize. But we're here for the match reaction, and what a game it was. Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Fantastic game of football. It's brilliant to be back in the big time quarterfinals of the Champions League and going toe to toe with one of the big teams in Europe. I know they haven't been in great form, but you can see by their starting 11, they're still a great team. Um, yeah, real lively game. It was end to end shootout. Um, yeah, it was a really good watch, and Arsenal very unfortunate, maybe not to win that. Um, we're gonna go through it. There's a lot to take in. Big up yourself, Tony, by the way, in the building. Um, yeah, I'm agreeing with this. The mistakes cost us 100%. And we're going to go through. We'll go through goal by goal. Go through some individual performances. We go through the manager and player ratings. We get to all that. So yeah, guys, make sure you're putting things in the comments. I'm going to get to as much messages as I can. Um, and yeah, player ratings. Also, I want to see your lot's player ratings as well. So put them in now. From now, I'll start them and come back to them a bit later. Um, but let's get into it. Starting 11 for me personally, wasn't happy about seeing Kirill. I thought Tomiyasu would have played. Apart from that, Martinelli was a bit of a started in a little while. But I think they're trying to say Jesus can't really play two big matches a week, like two 90 minutes in a week. That's what people have been saying. So we needed to start someone on the left, which makes sense for Martinelli. And again, he hasn't played much, so he was probably the freshest. But apart from that, the 11 was strong. Even with Kirill, I understand why he plays, especially set pieces. He's very good. So yeah, I wasn't mad at the starting lineup, and we started off very, very quickly. Took control of the ball, dominated. Brian couldn't get out. In all honesty, we looked very, very good. Um, and then yeah, very, very good goal. That right hand side was really cooking today, and I noticed one noticeable difference. Odegaard was a lot deeper. I know he has come deeper sometimes to play football, but he noticeably was a lot deeper today. Um, and it was obviously a tactic worked on because Ben White was then pushing up really high next to Saka and was making almost a run in behind us. So Odegaard starts deep, Saka comes to the ball, and Ben White runs in behind. It forced Gnabry back, um, which was a good tactic. And you saw Gnabry came off later on. He got through a lot of hard work. But our right side was absolutely cooking for that first 15 minutes. And then yeah, we got deserving goals. As I said, it was a ball over the top. They kind of won the header, but we won the second ball. And then Ben White passes into Saka, and yeah, he lets it run across his body beautifully and just tucks it away, just passes it into the back of net, and yeah, 1-0 up, and oh yeah, I was in cloud nine. And not long after that, we should have been 2 up. In all honesty, I'm not going to get onto Ben White about it. Again, people miss chances. Um, but yeah, he got through. He got played in. I think Havertz played him in. Again, it was a quick turnover. Havertz played him in, and he's one on one with the keeper, and he's shot right at Neuer. And even the fact Neuer managed to hold on to it is just lucky. Do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, it was. Again, he could have picked a corner. He's not. He's a right back, isn't it? So he's not going to be as composed as some of the attacking players in that area. Um, he struck it clean, but yeah, it was right at Neuer, and he's done very well to hold on to it. And then, typical Arsenal fashion, we had them pinned in, and I think it's a nothing ball from Dyer. He's literally clearing his lines, and there's a big bit of confusion between Gabriel and Raya. Um, Again, I can see by Tony's score, he's blaming Raya for it. For me, I'm looking more at there's a mix up between Gabriel and Raya, and that's the first mistake. But even after that, we've recovered from that. Gabriel's got the ball. Raya's gone back in a bit. So there's a pass there to Raya if Gabriel wants it. But he decides to go to Kirill. For me, Kirill doesn't move his feet. Ball goes past him. We have a problem. And then actually, I'm going to call Declan Rice out. I think even after that. So initial mistake between the three of them. Rice gets sucked into the ball, and then they play a lovely pass in behind him. And I think it's Goretzka. He goes in behind, and then he flicks it on to Gnabry, who finishes. So as much as the first mistake, Raya could be again. I understand why he's very high there. We had them pinned in. So if you look at Gabriel and Saliba, their positioning, they're inside Bayern Munich's half. So he has to be high. Um, What I would say is I want him to take a bit more charge, take more leadership there, so almost get Gabriel out of the way to say I'm coming for it. He kind of gets caught doing neither. I'm not too sure if Gabriel has taken charge of it. But even after Gabriel's got it, we should be doing better than that. For me, the pass wasn't great. The pass into Kirill wasn't great because he could have played it on Kirill's left side. And even if Kirill then wants to just help it down the line, but he's played it inside, so Kirill's got caught on his heels. And then, as I said, the counter is attacks on. So, in all honesty, in that moment, Gabriel's to the left, Saliba's to the right. Declan Rice is in the middle of them. Declan Rice has had to stay next to the two of them and let Bayern come onto us and keep some shape, and hopefully a midfielder will get back. Declan Rice takes a couple of steps forward, which opened up a big hole, and the ball in behind him is, again, it was just opened up the space for them, and that was the big issue for me. So as much as Raya takes some of the blame, Gabriel takes a little bit of the blame, Kivior takes some of the blame, I do think Rice is the main culprit, because again, that was the moment where they've actually got in behind. Yes, Raya's high, but if Gabriel kicks that ball out for a throw in, there's no issue. There's no issue at all. So that's why Raya won't get any blame from me for it, because we've had 3 opportunities to deal with that. His position might not have been great, but Gabriel could just put that in row Z and it's dealt with. We tried to play and we get caught out. So yeah, Raya won't come up to any stick, Tony. Unfortunately from me for that. I think Gabriel should deal with it first. Kivior should do better, and then Declan Rice has to just stay in position and let them come on to us, and then we try and squeeze them out that way. So yeah, that was their first. They were equaliser, and then from there, Kivior just looked shaky. Leroy Sané was on fire today. Ball gets played into it, and let's go back actually, because Neuer started to be a bit more confident. I think at first he was letting the centre backs have the ball a bit more, and they were coming unstuck and couldn't find the passes. So he then took responsibility and said, "All right, cool, I'll hold on to the ball. You lot come and press me, and I'll find passes out for fun." And his passing range is an absolute joke. There's a cheeky little flick up, and he flicked it back, like he flicked up and then passed it over Havertz's head, and they're out. A ball into Sane. Kivior gets tight but doesn't do enough. He gets rolled very easily. And now Sane's driving at the back line. And it is a problem. Jorginho gets across. He gets a touch on the ball, and it probably makes it harder for Gabriel, because he's kind of touched it straight into Sane's path. Gabriel then does the right thing and pulls out, which I think catches Saliba off guard. Saliba takes out Sane for a penalty, and it wouldn't be Arsenal versus Harry Kane if we didn't give the guy a penalty. I would love to know how many penalties he scored against Arsenal. He just loves the penalty against us. We love giving them. So yeah, he scores the penalty. Rare makes a decision to go right early, and he just slots it in the other side. We're going to get to some comments, because that first goal, again, it is a big talking point. I'm sure there's going to be lots of different views on it. Tony's saying Rare needs to learn he isn't a centre half and keep away from the halfway line. You say that, but 5 minutes after the penalty goes in, he comes and cleans one up for us. So that is just a tactic we play. I expect the same from Ramsdale. I expect the same from Walla keepers. When we've got a team pressed in so high, like we did, he has to be nice and high. Otherwise, there's a big gap, and with people like Sane's pace, the gap's too big. We can't defend it, and then it becomes more of a problem. What else have we got here? Luke saying he's still dumbfounded by the performance tonight. Yeah, again, I know I'm sometimes maybe see things a bit different. I don't think the performance is bad. I just feel we're set up for Bayern to counter us, and they look promising on the counter. I do think we actually probably perform better away from home, because I don't think we'll be as expansive. I think we've gone into this game knowing we really need to get a win with a home team. They've got no fans, so we try to take it to them, which sets us up for the counter. I think the away from home, I think we're going to be a bit more reserved and say, right, you don't have the ball and try and break us down. And we're trying now counter on you, but I don't think we have the devastating counter attack that these guys have. Like, their counter attack was different. We're going to get back to this one a bit later, Tony, about the penalty. He is saying, come on, don't you do that. It was Raya's fault. It's not Raya's fault. As I said, there's 3 opportunities to deal with that before. Raya's come out. Yes, there's some miscommunication between him and Gabriel. Positioning, yep, Gabriel can't pass straight back to him. But even after Gabriel's dropped the first shoulder, he can now go back to Raya, because Harry Kane's kind of following Gabriel. So he can go to Raya there. He can go out for a throw-in. or he can try the ball inside Kivior or on the outside of Kivior. He's tried to go inside Kivior. It could get dealt with. So yes, Raya could have been better positionally, but equally Gabriel should still deal with it. It's not like, do you know what I mean, them two ran into each other. Gabriel hasn't seen Raya come. Raya runs into him, and then they score from that moment. We can still do so much more for it. 100 of errors. So I do agree with Luke. I think Rice got caught positionally. Um, he's saying it was a comedy of errors. If you look at the goal, Gabriel couldn't pass back. He lost his footing when he passed to Kirio. Forget Rice. Raya was too far out. I did watch the match. Yeah. But yeah, watch it again. Rice definitely makes the wrong choice. Rice definitely makes the wrong choice. Yes, we could say the initial mistake is Raya and Gabriel. There's still so much ways we could deal with that better. If he slips as he's passing it, that's on Gabriel. Then he shouldn't slip when he's passing it. Kick out for a throw-in. But as I said, he could have gone back to Raya after the second because he's dropped a shoulder once. He's dropped to the other way, and then he can go back to Raya with his right foot, but he decides to go left-footed into Kivior. And again, he's passed it the wrong side of Kivior because Kivior's moving to the left-back position to give him an angle. So Gabriel's more at fault for the pass than me because, yes, as much as Raya's not giving him an option to pass to him, so let's say, he can still deal with that better. Luke saying it's a comedy of errors. And by the way, as I said, I love Declan Rice, and I think he's been fantastic. But for me, he needs to do better in that. Well, not do better. I think he just made a wrong choice. He went to press thinking the pass was going to go to the guy's feet. And once he's taken 2 steps forward, the pass went in behind him and he got absolutely killed. So yeah, it's one of them things. What else we got? Darren Tubbs, big up yourself. He's saying, where's Tony Fox? He's around somewhere. He's probably at work finishing up now, probably throwing punters out or something. Banter FC's here. He's saying, Gumsa, thoughts on that Saka Olympic gold medal dive? We're going to get into that later. Don't you worry about that. In fact, God, we didn't play Bayer Leverkusen. We made Bayern look good. It's true. Bayern have been in bad form, but they're not a bad team. Again, probably not much to play for in the Premier League. The Bundesliga. So you're probably going to see a lot of downturn in there. The rest of the season, they're probably not going to throw too much at it. I think Leverkusen can actually win the league this weekend. So I can imagine Bayern might actually rest players ready for Arsenal to go back there next week. So it's going to be an interesting see what team we put out this weekend. Obviously, Villa are playing on Thursday. So we will get a bit more rest than them going into that game. And then I believe we're playing on the Wednesday next week. So it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta's lineup is for Sunday. But yeah, I said at that moment, we've gone in 2-0 down, 2-1 down at half time. Second half, one substitution, Zinchenko comes on for Kivior. I know it caused a lot of people some anxiety, but I think Zinchenko done well when he came on. Still obviously not the best defensively, but he didn't do too bad. As Tony said, he said, let's blame Saliba who passed to Rice or Odegaard who passed to Saliba, or even better, Martinelli passed to whoever. We're going to get on to Martinelli a bit later, actually. I do want to talk about him. So yeah, second half started. Sorry about that. Second half started much of the same. Bayern set up to counter. However, there was an incident in the second half before we got the equaliser. Let's talk about Harry Kane's elbow. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts if they think it's a red or not. Me personally, I don't think it's a red card. He's definitely meant it. You see him looking for Gabriel. They've been tussling all game. You can see him looking for him. He's put his elbow there, but he hasn't thrown it back. I think that's the big difference. If he's thrown the elbow, when I say throw, I mean he's really thrown the elbow back, then it's a red. But he's kind of just placed it there very smartly, almost like he's protecting himself, and Gabriel's ran into it. Kane knows what he's doing. He's very experienced. He is a very good striker. There's no doubt about it. He knew exactly what he was doing. But for me, it's not a red. So I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Because yeah, for me personally, it's not red. Even though I know it, I know what he's doing. Everyone knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. However, it was, yeah, for me, it's not a red. It wasn't. Yeah, he didn't throw it. He didn't throw it back, and that was the difference. He kind of just left it there, which was for me is a yellow card. So I do think the referee got that right. I think the referee wasn't too bad today. There were a couple of fouls I think for Arsenal he missed, whereas it looked like every time Bayern went down they got something. Um, Big part is Alphonso Davies getting a yellow card early in the game, which rules him out for the return leg. Um, so yeah, that's a positive. That's one positive going into the next game. Davies will be missing as he got a yellow card. Um, but yeah, as the game's kind of petering on, Sane's come off, and that was heaven for me because as much as Kingsley Coman is good, he wasn't causing the problems that Sane was causing. Um, and we kind of gained control of the game again. Wasn't really creating too much at that moment, but definitely had a lot of ball. I do think we was rushing a bit too much at some stages. Like we had to just keep playing the way we was playing. We was having a lot of joy down the right side, but we kept trying to force things. But yeah, all of a sudden, he's made two positive changes. So Trossard's come on for Martinelli, and then Jesus has come on for Jorginho, which meant Havertz came back into the midfield. Jesus went up front. We looked a lot more lively. I was impressed with Jesus against Man City the other week. He seems to me he's a player who's for the big moments. He's not great in front of goal. He's going to miss chances, but his work rate and his quality on the ball, like you see the difference when he plays. He's a big game player as such, and you see the difference. He wants to be in the games. He wants to play those games. He wants the ball, and he has that bit of quality. And we finally won a second ball. Declan Rice won a header in the middle of the park. It fell to Saka. Saka feeds it in, and everyone's screaming. I'm screaming Jesus to shoot, and he chops the life out of I think it might be an Eric Dyer he chopped, and then sets off for Trossard who tucks it away really nicely, and it's 2-2, and it's kind of game on again. Um, so yeah, Jesus big up because I know the other week he done a couple of chops and we was all losing our hair because we like to shoot. This time he's chopped and it's paid off. But he has that quality in the final third and all over the park. To be fair, he had some really nice touches in there. He linked up really well, and for me, he has to start the return leg. Whether he starts up front or on the left, don't know yet. Ain't decided, but he has to start in that game. He was a difference maker. I know the plaudits will go to Trossard because he finished, but in all honesty, I think Trossard's overall game today compared to Jesus is nowhere near the level. Jesus is top quality player, and he should be playing in these kind of matches. And I was surprised he didn't start. Um, as the game went on, it got interesting. They had another chance. They hit the post. Um, yeah, good work down there, left hand side. Ball cut across, and it was Kingsley Coman nicked in front of our defender. Hit it through Ray's leg and it hit the post. And I'm sitting there thinking, we just need to see this out. Like, if you can't win, just don't lose. It's one of those games. Um, so it looked like the game was going to peter out to a 2-2, even though it was still a little bit open. And then we have one last attack, and we've gone through on goal. Not too sure. I'm not sure. Was it Partey who passed the ball? Yeah, Bayern Munich defense hesitated, and Saka's coming off the right hand side, and he's gone flying through. He's come inside Neuer. He's left his foot there most definitely. He's left his foot there to be kicked, but Neuer's absolutely wiped him out. And for me, it's a penalty all day long. Referees said no penalty. VAR obviously talking to him because you can see him talking into his mic before he even lets a decision be made. He's blown full time. Arteta's done the right thing. He hasn't approached him on the field because I know Arteta's passion. He probably would have get himself sent off. Saka was not happy when he finally got off the floor. People will say he left his leg there. I say it's no different to Harvey Elliott's. We see players do it all the time. Um, you you beat the player, you leave your foot. Some people drag their foot there, waiting for the connection. It's the defender's prerogative to get out of the way. He has to move. You look at Gabriel when Sane went through. Once he realizes he can't win the ball, he literally throws his legs back out the way and falls over um, to make sure he doesn't touch Sane when he's running through. Um, Saka has left his leg there. 100% he's left his leg there. But it's Neuer's prerogative to get out that way. He cannot make contact. And if Neuer doesn't touch him there, Saka puts his foot on the floor and he rolls it into an empty net. So as much as he's left his foot there, he's giving himself the choice or chance of, if you don't touch me, I'm going to score. If you do touch me, it's a penalty. He hasn't dived. He hasn't gone to ground early. Again, people saying Harvey Elliott's on Sunday. He was kind of already trying to go down before the ball come. I think Havertz had one last week on the weekend where he was going down before contact. However, Saka, he's been wiped out. whether you think he's left his leg there or not, he has left his leg there for a reason. It's the same way if I get my body in front of you, I'm gonna stop. And you run into the back of me, I go down. We always say to players when you're running through on goal and a player's chasing you, get across them. The reason why you get across them is they touch you, it's a penalty or a free kick and they get sent off. And what the player has to do, the defender, if I'm chasing you back, I have to get out of the way and stop. I have to let you go. The moment I touch you, I'm gone. So regardless, it's just part of football, isn't it? You put your body in places where you know that if someone touches you, you're going to get a free kick or penalty. It was definitely a penalty for me. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you think it's a penalty or not, I definitely think it is. And I think even the fact the referee's blown the whistle for full time without, again, I'm not sure. Again, we don't know. VAR might have just cleared it and said no, it's not a penalty, and then he's blown full time. But again, have a look. I wonder if the referee. It'd be interesting to hear what the referee says. If he says Saka's dived or Saka's played through it. Again, if that interpretation is that he thinks Saka's made the contact, then fair enough. But if he thinks Saka's dived and hasn't given it, then that's when I think VAR needs to get involved. Again, we will have talks about VAR, the interpretation, and I think this is another moment of interpretation because the referees said it's clear enough, it's not a penalty for whatever his reason is. It'd be interesting to know if he said to VAR, I think Saka's kicked Neuer, then VAR look at it and think, okay, cool, fair enough, we play on. If he says it's not a penalty because I think Saka's dived, that's when VAR should then turn around and say, no, actually, there's contact. And I think that's where the issue with clear and obvious, I think, because we don't know what the referee's not giving it on, if that makes sense. So I think if that gets cleared up, it'd be better. Also, maybe the fact is, again, rather than clear and obvious, referee should be able to say to VAR, didn't see it or not too sure. Can you check for me? Help me out. Because then it doesn't make it out sound like you're making the referee's made a mistake. The same as offsides. Linesmen, if they're not sure, they keep the flag down, they play through it, they then flag it, and then we do the check. Like if someone scored, say, we then do the check afterwards. So again, I think with penalty decisions, maybe something similar should happen where referees could say, I haven't seen it, we're going to keep playing, and then wait for a break in play, and then VAR can help him. Because I think we get it right for offsides now. They play through it. The ones I don't like is when it's blatantly offside. The linesman knows it's blatantly offside and he lets it play on. It's like you're wasting a bit of time, or someone could get injured. But with 9 times out of 10 with the offsides, we're getting it right now with the linesman's allowing play to play, see what happens, and then I put my flag out. So yeah, that's the big issue for me. It's the interpretation of these penalties. It's saying the referees have made a mistake is why I'm going to get involved is the wrong way to referee it because you're now putting a mistake in there wherever then I need a bit of help. I've been saying it for a while. I think we need to change the wording, the words referee uses. So it should be I need some help rather than I don't think it's a penalty. So, okay, we're going to overturn your decision because now you're making the referees look inadequate. And that's why VAR doesn't always get involved. So, yeah, for me, it's a blatant pen. But we'll see. Like again, what everyone else thinks. It'd be interesting to see everyone else's views. I know Luke's agreeing with me. He's saying I agree it's a pen Gumsa, but I don't ever like relying on the ref to give us a decision. Saka, I think, could have tried to avoid the keeper. Yeah, and that's the one thing. He probably didn't need to leave his leg there. He's beat him inside. It's on his left foot. He can roll it into an empty net. But again, it's so, you know when you're watching things at real time, it's such a difference. We get the hindsight of looking at Eric Dyer's, I think it's Eric Dyer or Delict's movement. He hasn't tried to stop the shot. He's kind of, I don't know where he's got caught. You're also looking at slow motion replays in real time. The speed these guys are traveling at, it's very, very difficult. Do you know what I mean? And again, like you said, take control of it. If he shoots, might have a different outcome. But yeah, it's just frustrating. Luke's also saying he said it in last April. Partey's finished legs have gone. Yeah, he's not looking his best. Some of his passes do look a bit wayward, but same with Zinchenko as well. I think some of his passes were bad today. And Saliba's passing was not good at all today. But I'm not going to be too harsh on them because again, Bayern aren't no pushovers. Tony's not happy with Saka pushing the Arsenal coach, but it's frustration of the game. I'm sure they hug. In the changing rooms, and there's no bad blood. Again, it's the passion of Saka. He knows he's been kicked. So yeah, that's all that is. Uh, Luke saying he really thinks we'll pass these F ups tonight is giving me serious doubts about the ability of this team to deliver at the stage of the season. We need a response on Sunday. Yeah, and I think we have to also respect Bayern Munich's game. Like they have not been playing well in their league, but you look at that front three, you look at Musiala behind it. That four is frightening. Um, all good players. Again, we were heavily linked for both Sane and Gnabry, and they take us to another level if we sign a player like that for our left hand side. Um, It was Partey who played that ball through. Yes, so that's the ball for Saka. The only thing he did well tonight, apart from the pass, was the professional foul on Musiala. Yeah, maybe Kirill, maybe if he had done something like that, we'd be having a different conversation now. Um, but again, these are all in hindsight. It's easy to look back and think, oh, you should have done this, we should have done that. Um, One thing we have found out is Kirill isn't good against pace. It's really strange because Kirill's, they said he recorded the fastest sprint time, but he just doesn't look fast. Like, again, I understand quickness and pace is two different things. Like some people are quick over a couple of yards, some people have real top speed. Like Kyle Walker's got very, very high top speed. He's quick still, but his top speed's a joke. But yeah, from what I hear, Kivill's got the fastest. And I think it was Tierney last year, and these guys don't look lightning quick. I don't understand how he's faster than Martinelli if it's true. Someone please fact check that for me. Yeah, it don't make no sense because I haven't seen Kirill look fast all season, and he struggles against pace. He doesn't look comfortable as a left back sometimes when he has to play against a quick winger. Um, so for me, yeah, Tomiyasu should definitely start in the return leg. I'm 100% with that as well, Tony. The informer wasn't very nervous. Um, Tony's also saying here, take Musiala. Yeah, Musiala, Sane, or Gnabry. I'll take all three of them. There, one of them three would really take us to another level. Um, Songs of Revelation, big up yourself as well. Every opponent we face, it automatically we must play shaky due to the fact it feels strange after a long while out of Champions League. But second leg shall give us confidence to better them. We are too good. Yeah, we was the better team, but they have got a lightning attack. Harry Kane just drops in them pockets and orchestrates, and he's got a great passing range, so he just feeds them wingers, and yeah, they cause havoc out there. So it's not going to be an easy game, but I do think we're gonna have a more reserved game. I think Arteta really tried to get a win in this game. Like even at 2-2, we were still pushing for a third goal, which was giving me heart palpitations. But I got to respect it. Um, so yeah, I think we'll be a bit more reserved, and I do think we got the quality of players to beat them. It was a really good game. Even again, I don't think we're going to press them the same because Neuer was just finding ways out, which was causing problems, and they were just dinking balls into the strikers or wingers. Harry Kane's a handful of He's very strong. Like, I think this is probably the first opponent Gabriel and Saliba couldn't bully. He was holding his own, winning free kicks, getting them up the pitch. So I do expect us to change our style a little bit. Um, Whether it's starting Partey, again, he hasn't always looked the greatest since he's come back, but we do know he has a bit more physicality than Jorginho. So it'd be interesting to see who we play in the centre of the park. But it does shows that that's one position we need to improve on this year is the centre midfielder, Rice's partner. And another position I think we need to look at is left wing. Again, the left side today was bad, 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 bad. Um, Not trying to single out players, but again, it's for me, it's another game. Martinelli hasn't done much. Yeah, it was a bad performance from him. Um, Again, that left side just didn't look great. Like Kimmich is a great player, not the quickest. And every time Martinelli got the ball, I'm thinking, just go at him, just try and commit him. But he just holds and waits and dilly dallies, and then even when we make runs off it, he doesn't try and pass and link up. And then it just breaks down. And I think that was a big issue for us. I think that left side needs to be better. I think we're going to see wholesale changes to that left side. And he is a good player, Martinelli, but I think we could. That's a place we can improve. If you look at what Gnabry done, he works just as hard, but on the ball, the quality he gives you. You look at Sane today, unbelievable performance. Um, and for me, man of the match either has to go to Sane or Saka. Odegaard, I think, was very, very good as well. But those two today were just penetrating and were just causing so much problems for the opposition. As I said, Alphonso Davies gets booked very early, and I think it was his third foul on Saka at that moment. So I think that's why it was a yellow card. It was a nasty kind of stamp on his Achilles, but I think it was the totting up. He committed 2 fouls before that, if I'm not mistaken, maybe three. Sorry, 2 or 1 foul before that. Sorry. And yeah, the amount of times Saka was fouled today was unreal. And again, that's cool for a time. He does need a bit more protection from refs because he just gets kicked left, right, and centre. I think about 3 or 4 different players kind of had bites at him today. He was on a different level. That right side, what I said, was cooking. Um, Tony's saying Havertz is his boy, but he didn't turn up. Yeah, he was quite quiet today. He looked better in midfield. He done one bit of tracking back, which I loved, and that's one thing I do love about Havertz. He does work, and he's faster than people think as well. But yeah, up front, it didn't really happen for him today. Again, Jesus come on and looks very lively, but yeah, it didn't really happen for Havertz up there. Uh, we're we're still there for at least another week now, Villa. So yeah, I think he's talking about we're in the Champions League for one more week. Um, Luke saying Kivior, like most centre backs, isn't that quick over the first 10 yards. Once he gets going, his pace kicks in. It must be that, but yeah, by the time he gets to get going, it's too late. So yeah, we got to look at that. Surely Arteta shall get it tight or right with the difference, maybe defence, and then our attack is better to give us a narrow victory, 1-0 or 2-1. I like the confidence. And in fact, a lot didn't turn up, so maybe we'll next week. Yeah, so we're going to get to the player ratings. Tony, I've got your player ratings there. If anyone else has got some player ratings they want to put in, please put it in. Also, not many people told me about the Saka penalty. I need a quick answer. I need it. Is it a Kane red card or is it a Saka penalty? Give me both of those answers, please. I need to know what people are thinking out there. Songs of revelation. I need to know, was Kane a red card and was Saka a penalty? Um, the informer, if you're still there, please let me know. Luke, you as well. Well, you told me it's a penalty, whether you think it's a red card or not. Whilst we're waiting for them answers to come in, let's get to some player ratings. So Raya in goal didn't really have much to do in terms of saves. Distribution was all right. Again, he didn't have much to do. It was a quiet game for him. On the first goal, obviously, he could be better positionally. But again, I said, I still think we should be dealing with it even after Raya's in a bad position. So I'll give him a 6. I don't think he could do anything. Well, the penalty, he's made himself look a bit silly, but it's Harry Kane. He scores them for fun. And again, Raya's penalty record has been relatively good for Arsenal. Again, I think Ramsdale only saved 1 in his 2 years as our number 1. Raya's definitely saved more. So yeah, I'll give him a 6. Sorry, just back to the Saka. It was a penalty, but Saka was looking for it. Yeah, like every striker does. We've had so many. Like Harry Kane used to do it all the time against Arsenal. Leave your foot dangling and let someone kick it. Like it is part and parcel of the game, isn't it? It's just the kind of just the dark arts of football. So I'll move you on that. And Tony scoring me a 1 for sticking up for Raya. You still don't like the guy? I'm surprised. I thought you won most people over by now, but there's still a couple. But anyway, let's move on. Benny Blanco. So I'm giving Raya a 6. Ben White, I'm going to give it 8. Very unfortunate not to score. But he was brilliant again today. There was even that one bit where he trapped back Sane. Don't think he even won a tackle, but just for the fact he got back, it stopped Sane from making forward motion, and he bailed us out because we got caught on the counter again. Then, so yeah, Ben White, fantastic performance on the ball, very very good. Him, Odegaard, and Saka were just unreal for us. And them 3 for me were the best players on the pitch for Arsenal today. So he will get a strong 8. Centre back Saliba wasn't his best performance at all. Struggled against Harry Kane. Gave away some kind of needless fouls, but we kind of got them pressed in, and you're thinking you held them up, just let go of him, make them play backwards, and he kind of just gets too tight and was all over Musiala or Kane, and kept giving them little easy ways out because they just go down and get the free kick. Also, passing wasn't great today, so I'll give him a 6. I think that's probably the lowest I've ever rated Saliba. But he's part of the defense that looked a bit all at sea at time. So yeah, he gets 6. Gabriel, I think, was the better of the 2. I'll give Gabriel a 7. Kivior, for me, the first goal, when I first saw it, I was mad at him. I think he still should have moved his feet better than he did. Um, Even though, yeah, the pass is probably on his wrong side for where he was running, but he needs to be able to move his feet and accept that ball. There's no one even around him. It's not even like the guy was on his tail. Like, so, and then the second goal, well, for the penalty, yeah, I have to look at him for that. So, unfortunately, he'll get a free today. Um, yeah, it was a bad performance. Um, I will then go to Declan Rice again. Wasn't his best game. I think it's a difficult game for him. But I definitely think on the first goal he got caught positionally. Like he got in a good position, he's come forward, and then they played him behind him, and that just he saw the seat open, it parted, and it was a wrap from there. So I'll give him a 6. Um, who's next to him? Jorginho wasn't great either. Wasn't really at fault for anything, but yeah, couldn't get it going. The pass on the ball he was tidy, but I'll give him a 6 as well. Odegaard, yeah, he was good today. He was classy. I'll give him an 8. I think he was good. Martinelli, I'll give a 4. I think he was awful today. He wasn't at fault for anything with the goals, but just didn't offer anything on that wing. Yeah, I'll give him a 4. Yeah, bad performance from him. Even there was a ball, Havertz stood up at the back and he didn't really attack it. Like he didn't try head. He kind of jumped into. Maybe he couldn't reach it. Maybe, but yeah, it's just a nothing game from him today. Um, so yeah, he get a 4. Then I'll move on to Havertz again, a bit quietish. Didn't really get anything. Didn't get any joy. Almost got an assist. So yeah, one touch passing was good, but yeah, couldn't really get anything going. I'll give him a 6. For me, I'm going to give this guy man of the match today. For Arsenal, I'm going to give Saka a 9. I think he was unreal. We've seen him have quiet games, and I keep saying I think teams know to double up and triple up on him, and today they couldn't live with him. Davies is, you know what I mean, one of the best left backs in world football at the moment, and yeah, he had him pinned in. Gnabry had to work so hard to get back and double up all the time. Um, he took his goal really well as well. He was so unlucky not to get that penalty. Again, he maybe should have just tried to finish it. However, he has been, you know what I mean, it's a penalty all day. So I'm going to give Saka a 9. I think even his set pieces today were dangerous. He had like 3 corners and he put them on the money, whereas Declan Rice on the other side was struggling with his set pieces. Um, so yeah, I'm going to give Saka a 9, man. I think he was really, really good. Um, Move on to the subs. First sub was Zinchenko. Steady things a little bit. Tried to get his play in, um, but yeah, couldn't really get much going. He tried a few balls over the top, which didn't execute. So I'll give him one thing. You know, he didn't get beat up defensively like I thought he would have. He managed to hold his own in that respect. So I'll give him a 6. Next subs were Jesus. Again, I think he had a massive impact. Big game player. He backs himself against opposition. So where some people might kick the ball or panic or just get rid of it, he wants the ball. He wants to play. He works his socks off. He's unfortunate to find himself out of the starting 11. I expect him to start next week. I'm gonna give him 7. That composure to create the goal for Trossard. I don't think there's anyone else in the Arsenal team who has that kind of composure. Most people would have shot, but yeah, it worked today. So I'll give him a 7. Um, Trossard came on at the same time, took the goal really well, but apart from that, didn't do anything. Like lost the ball, balls rolled under his feet. He had one where he's come inside, he's passed it to them, and they've countered again. Yeah, it wasn't his finest moment, even though he got an important goal. So I'll give him a 6 because that goal is vital and it gives us something to go to the Allianz with. Um, but yeah, it wasn't his best moment, but he's clutch. Like, and that's the quality he does have in front of goal. I think they said he scored the most goals from a substitute this season. So yeah, he is our super sub. Partey didn't get long. I'll give him a standard 5. Had some nice little touches in there. Getting that ball through, whether he meant it for Saka or not, almost set up the winning goal. Took a smart yellow card. I think that was when Trossard gave the ball away actually. And it absolutely killed Partey. He took the yellow card. Um, but yeah, he doesn't look like he's got that pace and power no more. And a couple of passes he tried to kind of put through the holes and he got cut out. So I give him a 5. And hopefully, maybe he is one who we see start mid next week. I'm not too sure if he gets a start this weekend. We'll see how he gets on. But he get a 5. And that is it for the player ratings. Let's move on to the manager. Oh, sorry, let me get these lots player ratings up first. And then also, can everyone score me the manager's rating, please? So let's go into Tony's ratings. He's giving Raya a 4. I'm not surprised. Saliba, White a 7. Saliba 6. Gabriel 7. Kirill 5. Jorginho 6. Rice 7. Havertz 6. Odegaard only Odegaard a 6. Martinelli a 5. Saka a 7. Tony, I think there's some agenda here. Odegaard a 6 and Saka a 7. That's crazy. Um, Yeah, that's nuts to me because I think between those two and White were unbelievable. And if it wasn't for them, we would be nowhere near in this game. So yeah, I can't see. Yeah, Tony, that's some harsh scoring, man. Harsh scoring. Um, but I respect it. Cine a 6. I'm surprised you gave him that. To be fair, big up. Trossard a 7. Jesus a 7, and he hasn't scored Partey. So I respect it. Luke's gone with Raya a 5. See, I think 5's harsh as well. For Raya because again he hasn't done anything wrong with like I get what everyone's saying positionally, but after that we should still deal with it. White a 4, Saliba a 4, White a 4. Wow, Gabriel a 4, Kirill a 3, Odegaard a 5, Jorginho a 4, Rice a 3, Saka a 5, Havertz a 5, Martinelli 4. This is bad. What? Luke's not happy today. Jesus, that's some hard ranking. Tony, I take it back. You're not that bad. Luke, what's happened? Trossard a 5, Sinchenko a 4, Partey a 3, Jesus a 6. That's harsh. I think that's very, very harsh. How you give Saka a 5 in that game and Odegaard a 5, I don't know. White a 4 is even worse. I think that's Jesus. You lot are some hard taskmasters, man. Um, Arteta gets a 4. He got his lineup wrong. Kivia against Sane with suicide. He said 5 is average, 6 would be above average, 4 is below average. Yeah, but still, Rice. Rice below average. White below average. Saka average. Freaking hell, boy! It's your scores. It's your scores. I don't mind it. So he's giving Arteta a 4. I'll give Arteta a 6 today. I liked his bravery. He went for it. I do agree. Kivior was not a great decision to start. But I understand it at the same time. Sometimes you have to give players their credit when they've been playing and performing well. Like we've played well with Kivior there. Um, so yeah, yeah. Again, what I did, like he adjusted it early. He didn't wait halftime, got him off and started again. Knew he made a mistake, rectified it. Um, so yeah, I think we played well possession wise. We had a majority of it. We had the ball. We created chances. I can't say it's him why we are getting countered like that. I think the players just looked a bit kind of caught in the like they're in the headlights. But yeah, I'll give him a 5-6. Tony saying, hold on, Gumsy, you blame Rice for Rare's mistake. Don't players lose marks mistakes? Yeah, sometimes I do mark them down for mistakes, but at the same time, I think there's difference in mistakes in it. There's them glaring ones where like you pass the ball to their striker and he scores. So like Badi Ashili or one of them guys. Um, and there's them things where someone just makes a bit of a bad decision. But I think there's 3 or 4. That's why I'm not going to give one person a real bad mark for the first goal because I think 4 people have a part to play in that. As I said, it starts with Raya, his position. If he stays where he is, which he easily could have done, Gabriel passes back to him, and we're not a problem. Raya makes the first mistake, which then forces Gabriel, but Gabriel has many a choice he can make from that moment. For me, he picked the wrong one. Um, by playing to Kyrgios's wrong side, because as Kyrgios's moving to get in a different position, he's played it on the wrong side, which means Kyrgios has to adjust, which he doesn't do well enough at all. So even the pass isn't great, but he hasn't fired at him. So Kyrgios should still do better, in my opinion. So that's why Kyrgios gets a bit of the blame, and then Rice is the final piece where, yeah, he should stand still or go back rather than step forward like he did. And once he stepped forward, there's a revert pass behind him, and yeah, it's game over. So yeah, that's why I'm not scoring many of them down, because I think all of them have a part to play. Um, and he's saying Wright should have buried his chance too. Rice for their first goal was in no man's land and tried to intercept the ball that was never there. Yeah, I do agree. He did try to nick it. He tried to read it and he got caught out. And yeah, Ben White should have scored the first one, but he still had a good performance. We got us. Well, personally for me, I don't. If one person doesn't score, I'm not going to score them like below average, because especially he's a right back. Like, yes, he should have done better, but his overall game today was very, very good. Um, and this is why I don't rate Haaland as the striker that some people rate him as. Yes, he's a great goal scorer, but he misses chances and sometimes he doesn't do much. And I'd much rather players that are doing more, maybe miss a chance here and there, but you're getting a performance from them, because there's no way Martinelli could get the same score as Rice, Saka, Ben White, or Odegaard. There's no way, because he didn't do much, and even when he didn't do anything. At least those guys were probing. I'd much rather my players be creating chances and missing than not creating anything at all, or getting in their positions, because if we're not getting in there, we're never going to score. Well, at least if we get in there a few times, we're going to score one or two. So, um, yeah, it is what it is. We haven't lost and City didn't win. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Both teams drew. Some of the goals in that City game were unbelievable. Valverde's finish is an absolute joke. What a finish that is. It'd be interesting to watch that whole game back to see who got the better of it. From what I hear, City were the better team in that game, but I need to watch it back. But some great finishing. It just shows you the level of this Champions League, because yeah, teams are just finishing. I've seen the goals in the City game. I do think Courtois should be doing a lot better for Bernardo's goal. But Foden's goal was very, very nice. Very good finish. And I can't remember who scored that. Oh, Guardiola. And oh, what a finish from him on his right foot as well. Um, I think City looked a bit unlucky with the first two goals from Madrid. Two big deflections by what I've seen of it. The first one was definitely a big deflection. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the second was a deflection, but Valverde's goal was unbelievable. Um, So yeah, it just shows you the quality of the Champions League when you get this late in the games. It's just some little mistakes get punished, and we just need to start punishing some of the other mistakes. But yeah, we're there. And Tony's saying Bayern played their best and we didn't. So this is where the confidence comes in the second leg. Um, I think we definitely look at our defensive position. Will we be so high? Probably not. Um, and I think we'll try and manage it a bit better. Luke saying he'd love Kane in our team. Havertz, as well as he's done, Kane's on a different level. Yeah, 100%. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. There's strikers out there. Like, Havertz is good. What I think Havertz has done well for us. He's shown us what kind of his profile striker does for us. So having a bigger striker, having someone that's going to run into centre backs and knock them off the ball when the ball's in the air. Someone who can win flick on. So he's given us that side of things. It's shown us what we want. Jesus is a different kind of striker, and we can see why it hasn't worked with Jesus sometimes. What Havertz offers sometimes. I think in the last game, Brighton, a couple of passes with nowhere to go, we could turn one up there, and Havertz makes a bad ball into a good ball. So that for me is showing what we can look for in a striker. It shows why we might need a different striker to Jesus. Um, but there is levels to this, and Harry Kane, yeah, he's just experienced how he was buying free kicks. A couple of the passes he put in, he just drops into a hole deep, gets on the ball, and just switches it out to the wingers. Again, they got wingers out there that would kill, wingers that start nice and high. So defensively, do you know what I mean? Sane was allowed a bit more freedom to stay high. Um, and then yeah, that ball's always on. So yeah, Kane is on a different level. But happy with Havertz. But yeah, that is a position I do want us to address in the summer. I think a left winger, a striker, a centre mid, and maybe a left back is the four positions we really need to look at. Depending on what we're going to do with Timber, if we're going to play him left back or right back, do you know what I mean? So that's something we need to look at. Um, I'd start Jesus. He frightened the defense. Yeah, 100%. He has to start. He has to start. Offensively, I don't think we're anywhere near the levels of Bayern, Real Madrid, City. Yeah, we play better football if that makes sense. But then Bayern were just direct and just ruthless with it, whereas we have to like build at this perfect goal. And I think that comes with the players they got. As I said, on not being funny to Martinelli. I think people are scared of Martinelli if they leave space, but I think teams will think, yeah, giving the ball out there, he's not going to do much. Whereas when Sane gets that ball, we're frightened. Do you know what I mean? And Saka brings that fear. You see today, unbelievable today. Uh, I think if you think Martinelli didn't turn up, maybe he will learn he can't just shadow matches. Don't get what you mean with that. Uh, and we scored more than City, haven't we? Yeah, it's weird. As I said, we scored a lot, but again, we hadn't. It was a couple of games we went crazy. So Sheffield United, Newcastle, West Ham, we went absolutely bonkers in like 4 games, which has just thrown our goal scoring numbers up high. Where if you look at the whole season, we weren't firing on all cylinders all season. Um, but we're in a position because of them goals. I'm not going to complain about it, but it can lure you into a false sense that, do you know what I mean? We've got these killers up front. You saw it with Bayern today. The way they just moved that ball in the final third, they just look threatening every time. Martinelli has played more like a Brazilian third division player this season. He's one of the most gassed up players we've ever had. Luke, I'm kind of with you. I don't think he has the technical ability that some people laud him for, but he can be effective in the right system. I just think teams don't give us that space, which then nullifies his game. So don't talk these names. Imagine we had Pires and Alexis. Oh, please don't talk them names. I think that would be, again, it's taking it to the next stage. Martinelli's done well for what he's done for us, but sometimes we do need to move on and not wait because of sentiment. Like, we can all love Martinelli. I love his passion. I love his work rate. But yeah, there's levels to it. Do you know what I mean? There's levels. Again, there's levels to the striker department, the left back department. There's levels. We look complete. I think say in 8 positions, but there's still 3 more, maybe even 4. We can even put Ray's position in there. What Neuer done today with the ball at his feet was a joke. So I would say there's 4 positions where if there's players that's available, there's better out there. Sorry, I should say that there's better out there in 4 positions. Goalkeeper would be one, left back would be the other. Again, you can still even improve on Ben White, but for me, I wouldn't be searching for that at this moment. Centre midfield is another. We need a partner for Rice. Left wing and striker. So yeah, there's still a lot of work to do in the summer. So yeah, let's go and get it done. And what I've seen of this team and board, we're not resting on our laurels. Again, no one had an issue with Ramsdale, and just like that, he was out the door. Whether you like Ray or not, he does bring something better than Ramsdale. I don't think he's a better shot stopper than Ramsdale, but on the ball, he's definitely better. So one thing I know of Arteta, he can be ruthless. And Tony agrees. Arteta ain't sentimental. Thank goodness. There's a reason he wanted Mudryk. Yeah, even though it hasn't worked out, easy pacey player, but yeah, obviously there's something he's not happy with on that left side. We was going heavy for a left-sided winger. Let's not start on our players who's got us to where we are making mistakes. Yes, I understand. Yeah, for me, as I would say, Luke is a bit harsher than me. I do think we can improve, but I'm still very happy with what these players have done this season. Like, again, we come on leaps and bounds. But again, to go to this next stage, to be playing against these Bayerns and beating cities away from home, you need them killers higher up the pitch. So again, look at what Leroy Sané done today, and you think he weren't even like a regular starter for City at times. Do you know what I mean? They had Mahrez, Sterling, who was ahead of him. That's why he left. Again, the striker department. There is some players out there who could take us to another level, but getting them is going to be another problem. But let's see what we can do in the summer. Tony's saying Mudryk and Martinelli. Where's this coming from? Mudryk's being shit. Yeah, I don't think he means Mudryk's better than Martinelli. I think he means that Arteta was looking for a replacement for Martinelli. So it's something in Martinelli he has reservations about. So he said, okay, let's go and address that. And that's why he was looking at Mudryk. Obviously, Mudryk's come to the Premiership, hasn't done anything. So would I swap Mudryk for Martinelli? No, I wouldn't. But obviously, that was something Arteta looked at. Again, even when Partey was doing really well in centre mid, we still was looking for Douglas Luiz, even though we knew he was getting Rice in the summer. So yeah, I definitely feel Arteta knows the players he wants. I think he will go out and get some reinforcements in the summer. But guys, I've been talking for how you do it, but yeah, it's hard work. But guys in the comments, thank you so much for keeping the stream entertaining. There's a lot of you watching in the background, so big up you guys for watching. Big up you guys for commenting because you keep the stream flowing. Again, to all, we've come on leaps and bounds again. The days of the 5-2s, 5-1s, and 10-2s and 8-2s, that looks like it's behind us. Even though there was some old school Arsenal defending out there, hopefully that's the last we see of that as well, because we need to be a bit more resolute. Um, need to definitely be a bit more resolute with our defending. Um, Tony said we nearly agreed. Yeah, we're gonna agree on some things later on, hopefully. But yeah, let's just agree that again, it's a better Arsenal than we've seen previously in the Champions League. We're putting up it's respectable what we're doing out here. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Right, let's find the outro. Sorry, guys. Make sure we hit the comments. Make sure we're liking and subscribing. And we out here.